Hello everyone and welcome to Rob's Rogues, and we'll take a little bit of a break here from Batman the Animated Series as we've been doing a nice long stretch here. And like I said, in some days you're going to get 2 videos from me, so here's one of them. And with having been sick the past week, I haven't had a chance to look at some of the birthday gifts that I received, and this is one of them, the Batman Unlimited Penguin that I have been so eagerly waiting for, and a lot of us have been waiting for another Penguin to be released, just from Mattel in general. I think we saw this as early as a year, maybe a year and a half ago, that they were going to make this figure. I think he even appeared at a toy fair, I want to say in early 2000 or late 2011, so make it 2012. So, you know, he finally came out almost a year later, and it's a definite welcome to have a Penguin. It's the same body as the DCUC Wave 1 Penguin, if you can believe. It's been, you know, we've been through, what, 22, 21 some odd waves of the DC Universe Classics. So the only other Penguin we got was clear back in Wave 1. Sports the same body. I don't have that Penguin. I had missed that Penguin a long time ago. So the only really new feature on Penguin himself is going to be his head. And for those of you that are keeping track at home, this is the Penguin from the Superpowers line. He's painted in his Superpowers Saturday morning cartoon colors, and then the figures that Kenner was making back in the 80s. So if you have the Superpowers Penguin, you're going to be holding an identical looking Penguin. So it's really nice to have a Penguin in that style. Comes with the same accessory as the Wave 1 Penguin, this umbrella and this little gun piece, if I can get it here, which the other Penguin that we had received back in Wave 1 had these, you know, little bullet markings that the gun, you can make believe, was attached in here, and he would fire like through the Penguin, or through the umbrella, I should say. I'm not going to end up posing him with this gun piece that makes the umbrella really top heavy, and it's kind of hard for him to hold anyway. So you can kind of have him do something like that, or get it up above his head. Might be a little bit of a rainy day for the Penguin. I've got the box here off to the side. We'll kind of get a look at this real quick. We'll read the bio here, a little Star Wars style. Due to his distinctive appearance and fascination with birds, Chester Copperpot has been called the Penguin all his life. But what began as a malicious childhood nickname has become one of the most feared names in the criminal underworld of Gotham City. Motivated by greed and armed with an army of trademark umbrella weapons, the Penguin has proven to be a worthy foe for the Batman. And the other figures in this Batman Unlimited line from Mattel are the repainted shiny Batman, which is the All-Star Batman, and Batgirl. The rest of the bio for the Penguin: his real name is Oswald Chesterfield Cobblepot, which I always thought that was such a cool name as a kid. Occupation, criminal mastermind. Location, Gotham City. Powers, abilities, and skills: umbrella weapons, and uses birds for his criminal activities. And then the front of the package here, which I'll kind of move the Penguin out of the way ever so slightly, and we get a look at the rest of the package. And I think Mattel has done a really good job at packaging their figures for this 2013 line. It's one of those that I would like to have some of these mint on card. I think the package is just so striking. And what's so sad about it, the only place you can find these anymore are comic book shops, or to get them from like Big Bad Toy Store, Amazon, which is where my wife picked this one up for me. It's through Amazon. I think these would be really striking in the retail stores like a Walmart, Target, Meijer, Toys R Us, you know, wherever, if they were on the shelf, I think they would really pop out. And it's really kind of sad that we're getting to the age where you can't go to the toy stores and buy these. You're going to have to go to the specialty shops and novelty places to pick up these action figures. We'll bring the stand back here. Now, I know some people are probably going to cry foul, no pun intended here, but I do want to kind of quickly review the line of the Batman Unlimited really quick. I did want to look at the articulation real quick because I'm kind of getting a little sidetracked here. All the standard, I should say all the standard, all of the articulation is exactly the same from one Penguin to the other. He does have a good amount of articulation. He's got the traditional, you know, ball and socket, you know, shoulders, and he's got the turn up here at the bicep and the hinged elbow. My Penguin, I don't know if other people's are supposed to or not. My hands don't turn. I don't know if they're stiff, but I'm having a hard time getting his hands to move. So I can't quite remember if I've seen anybody else's hands move or not, but I'm not going to risk snapping my figure's hands off. His legs do go up ever so slightly, but just because of the proportion of his body, that's all the farther his leg will go up. He has a bend at the knee and then a bend in the foot, and that is it really for the Penguin. Of course, his head does do a full 360 and is on a very, very articulated ball joint here, but mine almost feels like it's a little too much. It doesn't look, you know, I can get his head to stay up and I could shake it. It's not going to fall down, but I didn't think he was going to be able to look down to the ground so very much, but he does have a good range of articulation in the head, so that's really kind of cool. Now, something I was saying here, I did want to look at the line really closely, and I had said some people are probably going to cry foul here, but I think you're going to get what I'm saying out of this very first wave of figures, if I can get Batman here. Now, I know before anybody says it, this Batman did not come in this Batman Unlimited line. It was the shiny suit Batman, but it is the exact same Batman, just aside from he's not in the shiny silver and the glossy black. So, I know that, you know that, we're just going to talk about it as a whole. I think this is a good, I really wouldn't call them, they're not calling them waves anymore. They're just, you know, releasing, okay, here's a set of 3, here's a set of 3. So they've really scaled down the amount of figures that they are making, and they're just making them in smaller quantities, and then we'll just intermix the figures as they come out. So it's not like you're going to go to a Walmart or a Toys R Us, like I said, and start picking up these figures. I would like to think Mattel is going to do that, but I think from what we have been told, the All-Star line Batman was supposed to be the last retail, but in any of the stores I was in, I never saw him in. You could only find him in comic book shops and online. So I think this is going to be the inevitable problem we're going to have in picking up action figures now. So we're going to have to resort to mail order or going to your comic book store and really asking your comic book store owners to make sure they're still picking up Mattel figures for you to be able to buy. My comic book store gets very few, so Batgirl I bought online. Actually, she came from Amazon, he came from Amazon, and he came, I don't exactly remember where I picked him up from, it had been a while. But no, I think I did pick up on Amazon too. I'll have to go back and rewind my video to see where I picked him up from. But I didn't pick up any of the 3 of them in the store, which is kind of disappointing. It takes away a little bit of the collection experience and hunting and tracking down those action figures. That's the fun part of collecting action figures, is being able to get in your car and go drive to a place and pick up stuff. So I'm a little disappointed that Mattel has decided against this route, but I think that they have just spent so many years just flooding the stores with waves and waves of figures that people really didn't want, that maybe they could have been releasing core amount of figures, and maybe they should have done them in 3 or 4 wave sets. That might have been a little bit easier to pick things up. But something else I did want to talk about this particular penguin is how much this penguin kind of means to me growing up as a kid. One of the first books I got as a kid is this Batman and Robin, The Case of the Laughing Sphinx. And this came out in 1982. So I got this book as a kid. I was in elementary school, and this was basically the story of Robin. And it was a cassette tape that went here, so I could listen to the book and read along as a kid. You can see there was other books here. But it was really cool that 4 of my favorite villains were in here. You can kind of see there's Batman and a young Dick Grayson. But in here, we have the Penguin, as you can see him very much right there, the Joker, Catwoman, and the Riddler. And what was really cool about this is each one of them have their own little vignette with Batman and Robin here. So as you can see the Penguin there, which is, again, is the identical same Penguin as is with all the other villains in here. I'll try to get to a page here rather quickly, if I can do it. There we go. There's a shot of Robin sliding in, but you can see the other 4 villains after Robin had swooped in here. So the other villains that I have here in their classic costumes very, very much is reminiscent of this story as a kid. So once I saw this, and I can now have all 4 of my classic villains standing together with Batman and Robin, I really want to pick up the Crime Stopper Batman that has the oval in here. I think this would look so cool to have all of them here. But it very much reminds me of this Case of the Laughing Sphinx book that I got as a kid, to have all these on my shelf, and it just really kind of brings back a nice childhood memory that I can look at the shelf and kind of have Batman maybe standing up here where he should, since he's so tall. Which he's probably not going to cooperate right now, as I've got figures falling over all over the place. But the Penguin, I think, has been a sorely missed figure from this line, at least from Mattel, for quite a while. I was really surprised with the Riddler here for the Bane wave that we didn't get this Penguin during then. We got like a Jonah Hex and a Mercury and the Creeper. That wave 16 Bane wave that Robin here also came from was very, very heavy Batman oriented. You could have taken out Mercury, for example, and put in the Penguin in that line. That would have just been a perfect wave. So I kind of just wanted to be able to show, 6 of my favorite figures here that kind of put me back in that childhood, mentalities. We're looking at our action figures and kind of just what it means for some of us to collect and be able to pose these figures together. That being somebody that collects action figures, I feel a little bit more of a completist now that I have a whole set of figures from this golden age from when I was growing up as a kid, and I have them in nice big 6-inch action figure form. So hopefully you have your Batman figures completed the way you like it, that we finally have a Penguin, and that you're able to display some of your figures the way you've always really wanted to. And this is one collector that is very, very happy to finally have the Penguin here. Yes, we've had to wait quite a while to get another Penguin, but one that is in his superpowers or classic Penguin outfit, I think is a very, very much welcomed addition to any Batman collector. So if you can go out there and find him, like I said, you can get him on Amazon pretty cheap. Well, I should say pretty cheap, about $20, I believe. A little pricey, but I think he's going to be very, very worth it for your collection. So as always, this is Rob for Rob's Rogues signing off, saying we will see you guys next time.